Hello, well, hey, we are here to talk about lessons, 10 ways to get to know who you are. And as we go into this, I'm going to just let you know that there's going to be some F-bombs delivered because that's just the way I roll. And sometimes we just need to hear it as it is. And this topic is really close to my heart. This is what I do. This is what I find for people. This is what my goal is for you, is for in this hour, or near off an hour, is to deliver as much value as I can for you, to find a way that you currently are not aware of, that you can find to really connect with who you are underneath. We live in such an illusional world where image is everything. What you have, what you wear, what what car you drive, what house you own, what dog you own. Everything is a status symbol. If you've got shaded face, to the right haircut, to the right clothes, to everything else, and it just becomes a lot of stuff surrounding you. And my job is to go underneath all of that and find out what are the things that you really want to do, because when it comes down to it, that's the reason you're here. Not to fill your life with stuff that you don't need, and it certainly doesn't make you happy, or slightly makes you happy. It makes you temporarily happy. You might enjoy that meal. You might enjoy buying something new, but it doesn't do anything. There's no longevity in that happiness. And when to find out who you really are takes work, because and it's a path, it's not a destination, because every time you find it, you lose it again. Now, that's not to say it's not worth finding, because it is, but it's about finding the skills that keep you there, rather than, this is going to make me happy, I'm going to buy this, and therefore, tick. No, the tick doesn't ever happen. It takes one day, yes, the next day, what's next? It's about staying curious, staying in that space of what's available, who am I, what could I create now, where's the next level, as it were, something that you want to be doing with your life. And I find, especially as we get older, we find ourselves achieving a lot of success. We might have a house that we've bought, we might have a job that we've done really well in, we might have the family that we've craved. Then what? What do we do now? Like, what is it that you want to do for the rest of your time here? Because otherwise we end up getting bored, and then we fill our faces with food. We don't exercise, we don't move ourselves, because we're not challenged. We're not finding ourselves motivated to do something more with our lives. So that's what this is all about. That's what this is going to do for you today, is that these 10 ways are not ways that I've plucked out of my head. They're not woo-woo. These are 10 ways that I work with my clients daily to make sure that they are curious about life, that they're staying curious, they're staying hungry for something new. Because if you decide that, that's it, I've set up this business, like, for example, my business, if I set up a business and then I set up a course, and then as soon as I've set up the course, I'm thinking about the next one, because I've learned so much during that you want to then implement that into the next course, the next thing. And the same with a job. You've learned stuff, you want to move on. Same with children. You learned stuff and you want to move on. And we want to grow. We don't want to stay the same, doing the same thing, because that's when you end up searching for other things. And that's how you end up watching Love Island or something like that. And anyway, not that I have an opinion about that. So let's start. So I do hope, if you haven't read the event details, that you have a pen and something to write down on. Now, I love journaling, but I think that it really doesn't matter, because I just want you to write something down, because on that piece of paper there will be something that you will take away. Now, It might not be all of these 10 things, but it will be something that you can think that I want the real thing that I want you to take away is at least one thing that you can take away and think, right, I can do that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to give that a go for a month and see what I notice. So that's what I want you to do. So I don't care if it's the back of an envelope. I really don't. It's not about writing this out and then putting it in a drawer. It's about writing out something and acting on something. If you know me well enough, if you followed me, you will know that it's what I'm doing live. It's about what's the action I want you to take. There's always something that you can do. There's never, ever, ever nothing that can be done until you've explored everything. And I promise you there's always something. If you came to me and said, right, Kerry, find it, I would find it because I like puzzles. Right, so 10 ways. I've already mentioned the first one. The first thing that I do, first thing that I want you to talk about is journaling. Journaling. And journaling can come in so many different ways. It doesn't, there isn't a specific way. The intention for journaling is for you to write out your thoughts. Now, if you've never done it before, you're going to write it out like a diary, and it's just going to be, la, 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 he did this, she did this, I did this, da, 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 da. And that will evolve. It has to evolve until you kind of run out of all of the whining and the moaning and the groaning and the da, 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 da. And then you start to look at, right, okay, what do I want to do with this? What am I going to do with it? And how's the best way for you to journal? Like for me, I write, but you could sketch it, you can draw it, you can sculpt it, you can paint it, you can do a mixture of everything. You can have a blank page, you can draw a bit, write a bit. It doesn't really matter. The goal of journaling is to get your thoughts, your intentions more than your thoughts, onto a page. So what do you want to create? What do you want to create? What do you want to bring into your life? Now that's kind of about the law of attraction. What do you want to attract in? What do you want? Rather than we spend a lot of our time in life telling everybody what you don't want. I don't want this, or he's done that, or she's done this, or I don't want this flabby belly, or I don't want, I don't want to feel struggle anymore. I don't want this, or not that. So if you're so ingrained in finding out nots and don'ts, write them out as they are. Okay, start there, and then rewrite them about what that would be if it was a positive. So turn in sort of like, I don't want this, I don't want a fat body, as an example. So if you don't want a fat body, you want a slim body. What does a slim body mean to you? A fit body. What does a fit body mean to you? What exactly? Be specific about what that is. Because once you know what the bigger goal is, the bigger intention is, then you know what are the steps to take towards it. And that's the thing about journaling, because we have lots of thoughts. I mean, like all the way, keep going. And then what happens is that we don't actually put them to work. So we believe them all, and sometimes it's like you don't have to act on all of your thoughts. I can guarantee you don't. But the ones that are consistent and the ones that you keep coming up, the dream, the idea, the thing you have to like drink to forget, or eat to forget, or do something to forget, or numb it away, they're the ones that you need to work on, because they'll never go away. You'll spend the rest of your life trying not to do them, trying not to be that person, or that you've got to overcome something to do that. They're never going to go. So you may as well just decide, right, okay, I'm going to do that anyway. I'm just going to get on and do it. And what would be the smallest step towards it? So the journaling part of it is the journey along that road, and actually sort of, because every time, so say this is the goal, it's the journey along, and then the goal, you can see the goal, feel the goal, touch the goal. Okay, we need to move the next goal, and then you keep moving along. And that's about attraction, sort of like of you getting the momentum of going through it and going, yeah, okay, I can do this, and that's what you're doing. So it pulls you through the everyday stuff, but number one, it has got to be journaling. If you know anybody who's had any success, journaling helps you clarify your thoughts, clarify your intentions, clarify where you've got blockages that you need to maybe work on or get some help about getting over for you to be able to go forward. But it's the most easiest thing. It's free, it's available, anyone can do it. There are so many different ways that you can do it. It's just the best thing. It's just the best thing. So number one is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, I did write some more notes on it. It's because your thoughts become your beliefs become your actions, and the actions are what happens to be your life. So you've got to really think about, like, that's how it works. Your thoughts become your beliefs. I believe that I can, I know what I can, so therefore I'm going to do this, and then you move forward, and that's how it happens. So yeah, just, it doesn't matter how, even if you talk it out, like just journaling, just talk it out to yourself, as you're walking, as you're exercising, anything, just get it out of your head, get it on the page. Number two, clear everything out. So if you're surrounded by stuff, it kind of, think of your life as a picture, and you want to see what the vision is, and you've got a little bit of stuff here and a little bit of stuff there, and a little bit of old stuff over here, and a little bit of stuff that you might use just in case, a little bit of stuff over there that you love but you don't ever use it anymore, but you've got to keep it because somebody gave it to you and you don't want to offend people, so therefore you keep hold of that. And then there's stuff that you used when you were 20 and you don't use them anymore, but you think that you should keep it, and therefore you keep that as well. And then what happens is your picture becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, and you've only got this amount of space to create. And then we've got to fit our life into that, and we can't expand because we're trying to fit our life into here, and we have to clear all the stuff out, because if you can't see what you want to see, it's like, oh my God, how am I going to see what I want in life? What's in that corner? What's up there? Is there anything up there that I want? You can't do it like that. I feel like I should go back in my box. It becomes cluttered. It becomes heavy. It becomes difficult to actually get up and think, right, okay, this is what I need to do. I can see that needs sorting out. I can see that needs sorting out. And therefore, I'm going to have a plan, and then I'm going to write out my plan, and it's going to be clearer, and get more clarity about it, and that's going to help you move forward. But you can't do it if you're blinkered and you've got all this stuff, and if you need to break it down, it's just start somewhere, even if it's your handbag, and see how different you feel, because then you get the momentum about doing it. And clearing out your stuff, I mean, like, I do a declutter challenge, and I do a declutter in the reboot, but clearing out your stuff is just take a look around of how quickly you could get cluttered. Like, and I've got a very busy house, and it sort of, even before I sat down to do this, I had to clear stuff away, open the bin and clear stuff out, and move stuff and churn stuff, and clear out make it clean, make it tidy, make it so I can create, because I need to have all of my energy here. But if it's sort of, over there, oh God, that needs sorting out, that needs fixing, that needs doing, and then you don't have much energy to create what you really want to create. Excuse me, I'm going to have got hiccups now. So clear everything out. It's the most liberating feeling when you clear it out, because you do feel like you can take a breath all the way through, rather than I can do it when I've got all the stuff in me. So if you're thinking, oh gosh, start to write down just an area that you could start in, or an area that you've been avoiding. And if there's an area like that, it's kind of a blockage, it's kind of an energy thing that and to avoid something takes energy anyway, so you're not avoiding the task because you're avoiding the avoidance of doing it, if that makes sense. So you're better off just making a plan and going, right, okay, what do I need to get some help? Does a friend need to help doing her stuff? Then we could swap, because sometimes you need someone else to say, okay, what are you doing? What can we do here? So that's number 2. Clear it out, because you will get that vision, you will feel it, you will see it, you'll breathe it for a start. So it's really, really important. Okay, so the next one, the third one, is about shifting energy, because we can get stuck in our thoughts, and the best way I can see to do that is to move. Moving your body allows, you can't ever stay the same. Nothing stays the same unless you recreate it to stay the same. So by moving your body, exercising meaning not just going for a leisurely walk, pump it up a bit so you're getting a bit of a sweat on, something that's really going to make your body, your blood pump round, because it will pump round everywhere. And what happens then is that you're never the same, and you will start to see things from a different perspective. But you can't see it from a different perspective if you don't move. So it's and I find the best time to do that is the morning, but that might not be the best time for you. Show my bra now. It might be whenever it works for you. For me, I love to get up in the morning. I get up at 5 and do different things. Journaling is one of those things, and exercising is one of those things. And how that relates to knowing who I am means that exercise allows me to get out of a funk, get out some anger, get out some energy. It reconnects with me being a human, that I'm here now and I'm doing this, because my mind can take us, as everyone's mind can take you out of you, sort of on the external side of like looking out of what's going on over there, looking at that stuff, looking at that pile, looking at this, looking at that. And what happens is that we don't actually connect with her inside, or him inside. So by exercising, by moving your body, you release tension as well. Because if we stay stuck and we don't move much, you end up building you end up holding tension in your body, which then creates illnesses, ailments, etc., etc. So where you can, find a solution to move, because what happens is that if you're sitting there going, yeah, well, Kerry, I've got a bad knee, or I've got a bad hip, or I've got a bad this, or I've got a bad that. Yeah, we're all going to have those, right? Everyone's got those reasons. Everyone. I can assure you, I did not want to exercise this morning. I was like, no, you've committed to do this. This is what you do for half an hour. And I have a stack of ways of doing that. And if a friend of mine knows that I need someone to tell me, go, right, come on, do this, do this, do this, do this, 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 and then it happens. But if it's not, then I'm not very good at that. So once I'm in a groove, like I've done a 100-day burpee challenge, and so it's not that I can't do that. But at the moment, I'm a bit sort of huffy about it all until I can get myself into a state of fitness, and then I'll be fine. But it's like, what is that for you? I know what that is for me. What is it for you? You are your best expert. One of the things I really want you to take away is that you know best. I can give you questions, I can ask you things, but you know best. You are your best expert. And if you're waiting for someone to ask you the perfect question, excuse me, I've got a cough. For you to be able to say, yes, I do, or yes, I know what that is. You know, you do. Inside, you know what you're saying yes to. You know what you're trying to put off. You do. And exercise allows you to move your body and keep the stresses out, and the intention and the attention that you need to go and do the things that you really want to be doing. So it's really important to be moving your body and getting a sweat up. I can assure you, when you don't do it, and then when you do, you kind of go, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't do this before. Okay, so number four. Number four is meditation. Meditation. And if you're all groaning, saying, "Oh God, I don't know how to do this," find a way. Find a way to meditate. That's all I have to say. I don't. I've always got more to say, but I, for years, were of this ilk that said, "Oh, my mind's too busy to meditate. I don't know how to do this kind of things." And it's kind of a bit egotistical to say that, really, because my mind's no more busier than anybody else's. We all have busy minds. Everybody has a busy mind. And what I want you to know is that it takes practice. When I did a great course with Joe Royle called Effortless Meditation. And I really recommend that even if you just start, when you first start out meditating, if you really have struggled doing it, like by doing it on an app or something like that, because you can, like a guided meditation, guided meditations are great, but the best way to meditate is for you to learn how to do it yourself. Because it's the thing about meditation is understanding that you are not your thoughts. Yes, I do know that I said this earlier on, because we spend a lot of our time trying of believing that we have to act on each thought, and you don't. We are not our thoughts, as in we are underneath those thoughts. Inside, that little soul inside is not the rambling thoughts that are going on, that are sparked by smells, by all of our senses, that then trigger an old memory. And it's of you looking back on a memory that you're not that person anymore, but it feels like you could be exactly the same person. It's not that. What meditating does is allows you to let them go. And when you first start to meditate, you might need a mantra, a word for you to be able to breathe and just to say that word, or even to just to check in with your breath, so you can understand that you're just following that. And then what will happen is your mind will go, and you'll be off deciding what you have for tea, or that really pissed me off earlier, and you come back again, and something, and then it'll come back again. And that's all normal. Normal. Nobody gets to meditate straight off and go, "Oh, I've got it, that's fine. Oh, there's my thought, I'm just going to go." It's like going to the gym and expecting this amazing body when you walk out the door for the first time. It doesn't happen like that. So what you have to do is practice it and notice it. And the only thing you need to do is just get into a space and to notice when your mind goes off, and then to catch it at some point, and then go, okay, back to my thoughts. And off it go again, and back to my thoughts. And what happens is that instead of it going all the way off, it'll only go to here, and then it'll here, and then here, and then you'll be able to just stay here. And that takes resilience. It takes time, takes practice, and you will get there, but you won't get there if you believe you won't. It's as simple as that. So, what it does is that the amount of times that we spend in our mind off somewhere creating some drama about something that someone said on a whim to you, that you took personally, that you therefore I have to act on because that pissed me off, and therefore they need to know that I was pissed off, and therefore I'm going to sulk a bit, and then that they'll understand, they'll interpret my sulking that they said this, and therefore I've got them back. No. It's all a fucking illusion. It's not real. But what happens is that we can't just let stuff go and get on with our lives, right? So that's the great thing about meditation, is that you understand yourself more when you're not allowing yourself to just can't, because this whole train of rah that's going along. Oh, look, and it could be anything. You've been watching a pile of shit on TV and then go, oh God, yeah, look, I don't get kissed like that anymore. And then and you can end up acting on something that is just so irrelevant to your life and what you really want to be doing, but you end up getting caught up into something, some kind of drama, when you But what happens is when you learn to meditate, you learn that you can let go of a thought instead of attaching yourself to it. And because I've invested my time in it, therefore I have to do this and I have to do that, and this is what happens. And you don't. And that's how you get more time and energy back into your life to be able to do the things that you really want to be doing, not the stuff that you don't. Okay? Number 5 is understanding the difference between responsibility and blame. So the two things are at odds. And I've seen lots of different coaches do short videos on this, but I really wanted to make you aware of this and how that connects with you finding out what you really want to do. Because what you really want to do is your responsibility. Nobody else's. Nobody else really gives a flying fart about what you do. They really don't. What they do care about is whether you are happy. And how you are happy is doing the thing that you really want to do. So what you have to learn is by blaming others is disempowering you, because you are then giving the power on to somebody else to either cure or curse you, depending on what it is that you're waiting for them to do for you, or blaming them because they did this to you, therefore you can't go and do whatever it is that you want to do in your life. So what I want you to notice is where in your life you are taking responsibility for who you are and what you want, or are you blaming a situation, a circumstance, a person, an event, a relationship, anything that you've been through in all of the years you've been on the planet so far that you are holding on to because that situation happened to you. And that is blaming somebody else for the life that you lead. Now and we do this a lot in relationships, and I can do this in my relationship quite easily. I can blame him for doing lots of things, or the reason why I can't do whatever I want to do. But what happens then is I disempower myself, because what happens is that, well, there's nothing I can do because he's blah, 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 right? But what you do is when you decide that, what can I do? What have I got? I am responsible for my own happiness. Nobody else is. Even in the most intimate relationship, they are not responsible for your happiness. Not a jot. You are responsible for your happiness. They can assist, they can do the things, but if you're not happy, they're not going to make you happy, because we're our own spirits. You have to be responsible for that. And by blaming somebody else or giving the pressure to somebody else to make you happy is totally unfair, and it will allow a weakness in your system, because you're not in control of that, of somebody else's of how they are and what they do. So by deciding and noticing in your life where you're feeling responsibility or where you're blaming, you will see the different flavors and feelings about it. And what I want you to notice is that when you decide to take responsibility, is that you can then take back that power about what it is that you want to do with your life, because it's your life. And from now on in, and however long you've got left in life, this is it. This is your life. This is what you're here to do. So let's just get on and do it. So we're up to number 6. Check at the time. So if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. If you're watching the replay, I will come back and check them, because there's going to be an offer at the end if you would like to take me up on that. So number 6 is whine, drama, confusion. Let's talk about the first one. If you're whining about life, you're spending a lot of time. That's going to drain energy, and it's going to exhaust you and everybody else. And it's a buffer, it's a procrastination, and it's also a really bad habit that we can get into from kids, from being children. I see parents not holding their kids accountable to whining at all. They can use whiny voices and they can spend a lot of their time asking for things they don't get. And as adults, I see that a lot in my clients. When I have pointed it out that they are whining, it's uncomfortable for a moment, but then you can kind of think, oh my God, I'm really whining about that. And there are times when you need to offload. You need to go out and you hang your friends and say, look, I just need 5 minutes to just say what I need to get off my chest. Now, getting off your chest is one thing, but whining about a situation over and over and over is not going to get you what you want, ever, 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 ever. I've never known anyone to whine their way to success. Let's put it that way. Okay, so what we really want you to be doing is to be noticing these patterns that can stifle you and cloud your judgment about what you really want to be doing. And it's just a bad habit. So I'm asking you to have a look in your life to see where there's an area that's not quite working and you're spending a lot of your time whining about it. Just to have a look. Drama. So they're in the same, I've put them in the same category, because if you're creating a lot of drama about a situation, that's attention seeking. And it might be that there is a lot of drama about the situation, but if you're trying to create a drama about something to create some attention for you that you can then talk about, it's like having that little bit of gossip that you can tell somebody, or can't wait to share something with somebody so they can give you a bit of empathy or sympathy, or, oh, poor you, oh my God, I can't believe you're having to deal with this must be really hard for you, or whatever it may be. Now, there are times when you want to talk to your friends and you want somebody to go, that's pretty crap. But what I'm talking about is when you are creating dramas to get some attention. And it's just to look at it, just to look and see what you do and how you do it. We all have them, right? We all have little ways that we got our attention as kids. And that might be that we fell over a lot. It might be that we were clumsy, or that we fell over once and someone told us we were clumsy, and therefore we're labelled clumsy, and then we became clumsy. It could be that you're always late. It could be that you're always early. It could be that you're really messy. It could be you're untidy. It could be lots of different things that you're looking at of how you want to be. Like, this is like when people say, I can't stand my messy house, but they're living in a messy house. So it's kind of like it fuels their drama about, the stress of living in a messy house, when they quite like the stuff. And it's actually finding out what you really want in all of that and going under the drama and saying, what's the attention that you're seeking from it? That's what I want you to look at. And also because it adds, like I was saying, is the confusion, because you don't really know what's the truth, because you're just caught up in the drama of it, because we watch so much drama. I'm going to go back to Love Island. Everyone is like, well, if you're not watching it, you're not in. Can't have a conversation. It's like, well, because if people say, did you watch Love Island? You say no, they're like, oh, did you watch Love Island? It's like, move aside. It's like, oh, I need to create something to get attention. Well, create something that's amazing and get attention like that. Number 7, right? Okay, so this is something that can be difficult to it's a concept, but I want you to really work hard and put it into a concept of what you do in your life. So, as an example, so the thing that I want you to notice is there's a difference in form and function. When we're looking at what we want to do, we need to know the difference in these two things, because it could be that we're looking, sometimes we dismiss something that we're doing when we've not actually investigated it further. So this is the difference between form and function. So as an example, I'm going to give you an example of, I used to be a project manager, a Prince 2 project manager, and so my function is a project manager. That's my function. And the form can be what I'm project managing. So I could really enjoy project managing. So as example, I introduced a national program called Copying Letters to Patients. Hopefully you now will get, if you live in the UK, you should now have an option of having a letter copied to you from your doctor if you go to the consultant, and that's called Copying Letters to Patients. That was one form of my project management. So I had to go in and devise a scheme, how to do it and who to talk to, etc., and implement it from start to finish. And that was project managing it. That's one form. So there are other forms that I've done which have not been so enjoyable, or that I've not gained so much in use of my brilliance within it. And so in terms of your lives, the function can be what you do in it, but the form is how you do it, is the people you surround it. So it could be that I've got a brilliant job, or generally what people say, I love the people I work with, I can't stand what I do, or I love what I do, I don't like the people I work with. So that's a form and a function. And I want you to understand, what's your function? What do you love to do? Like, what are those parts? Do you like to work with people, on your own? So really pull it apart for you to then to be able to go, right, okay, so I know that I like to do this, and these are the forms that I like to work in. It's, social enterprise or different things. And then, but the function is that I need to have my own, how to explain it, my own, I can work on my own initiatives. It's entirely up to you. Like, for example, I'm loving my my reboot, because it ticks a lot of the boxes for me and for my clients. So the function is that it's a 10-week course, it's still, and its delivery. The form is the actual stuff that we're actually doing within it. So I hope that really gives you a good understanding. If you want me to go through it a bit more, let me know. But ask some questions, and then I can help you out with that. Number 8 is get creative. So many people believe that they're not creative, because we do a lot of creative things when we're children, and then as adults we have to take life very seriously. And I think that we need to understand that we are such creative beings. Look at that. Ding, 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 ding. And there's something creative in all of us, and I want you to understand that that's not an option not to. It's not an option not to, because if you don't use your creativity intentionally, you will add it in as in a drama in other parts of your life. And when you know what you want and you start to create that, that's how you start to, then you will use that more intentionally in your life. So when we're looking at finding out what we really want, creativity, it really is, it connects you on the inside. It's not you're not watching illusion. It's not an external thing. It's something that you're bringing out of you to create. So, and it can be anything. It can be, and when I do lots of different things, I groom dogs, I hack bushes, which I got told off about earlier on. I knit, I crochet. I've started to do some small sketches. it can be anything, right? And there is something that you love to do. And what happens is that it connects your mind differently for you to be able to push past the limitations that you would normally put in place. That I'm not very good at that, or I can't do that, and or I try that and it's not very good. And especially if you start to get into comparisonitis with people, it's never going to be good enough. But it's about you, and it's about allowing yourself to express yourself in some way, shape or form. And it doesn't matter what it is, because it's not up for you to sell or to promote. Like, sort of, I knit and crochet things that I wear, but they're not amazing things. They're something that I've done and I've enjoyed doing, and they're a process, and they get me thinking about different things. And I can generally, if I'm doing something creative and I want my mind to relax, what happens is that your mind can get focused on something else. So there's some deeper work that can be done, and that's how you end up connecting with her inside. And that's the most important part, for you to be able to know what it is that you're here to do. Because if you're not, then it becomes this sort of to-do list of life, and you want more than that. Okay, so we're now up to number 9. Number 9 is set yourself a physical challenge, because it will. Earlier on, I did say about moving, and that's just about like every day moving your body, moving the chemicals around in your body, and making sure that you're releasing tension, and things are not settling. The physical challenge, I think, is allowing you, just thinking outside of the box more, because we're all capable of doing such amazing things, and yet we don't test ourselves. And the test of running a 5K, walking a 5K, walking a 26-mile walk, or doing something that pushes you a little bit further than your comfort zone, allows your mind to not get stuck in a pattern that says this'll do. I want you to say, yeah, I can. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna get a plan. I'm gonna see what I will do. Because even by asking that question, there is something that you think you can do. It might be that you're a good swimmer and you might want to do this Swim the Channel charity thing. You haven't got to raise huge amounts of money. I think you only have to pay a fiver to join it. It can be anything that you can do. But what I want you to do is, when you set yourself a physical challenge, it's not about anybody else, it's about you. It's about you deciding that every day that you're going to bike 5K, every day that you're going to take the dog out and you're going to take them out for an hour and walk faster, so that you and you'll feel the difference. And it's just, I want you to push yourself just a little bit more, because what happens is that then you can push other boundaries, that you can say, actually, I can do that and I will do that. But you've got to be able to say, right, what could I do? What could you do? I promise you, there's something out there, because there always is. For me, there's always something. I've done a burpee challenge. I've run marathons. I've done different things, and I'm not. Listen, if you've ever met me, I'm 5'7". Currently, I'm about 13 stone. I'm not slight and nimble and like super fit, but I do believe in giving myself some kind of physical thing. At the moment, I'm doing 5 days of exercise, because I did a burpee challenge and finished it and was like, not doing anything else for a while. So and then my body reflects that, and I would like to change that, so I'm having to do something different. So I want you to look around and go, right, okay, what are the things that you know that you could do? And again, take the responsibility for that to be for you, not for somebody else. So it's not about, right, okay, I'll find a friend to do it. It's got to be yours and yours and yours. So I really want you, all the things that I've said, is to put them down here, and for you to be able to look and see what they are, and if you've got a question that you can then ask me, challenge me, if there's something that you want me to add to, if I've not got it quite there. Right, so I've done 9, and the 10th one is what I've just pinned up for you, is to join my Reboot Academy. Now, you may click off now, I don't mind, but what I would love you to do is to listen to me for 5 minutes to tell you about my Reboot Academy and why I did it, and what the wonders that the people have done it already, and what I'm going to offer you, which is pinned here until Friday is when I'm going to take that down. My Reboot Academy starts on the 10th of September. It's 10 weeks, and of those 10 weeks we have a focus training on the Monday night that you can come and attend live. I deliver that training for you live, and then on the Wednesday you can either come during the day or the evening, and I do a question and answers live. So if you can't get there, you just post and I'll answer your question, or if you are there, I will go around and say, right, who's here, who wants to jump on, and there'll be questions on that training. And then you have a post, a group, a private Facebook group that you can join in, that you can post, and people get the most value from posting in there. So the Reboot follows 3 different areas. The first focus of the first month is 3 to 4 weeks is clarity. It's clearing out, like I was saying earlier, clearing out all the stuff that you don't like, understanding that you either love it or don't like it, get rid of what you don't like, and understanding what you really love, and then you can really love what you've got, and then we fill in the gaps. So that's clarity, and we spend 3 weeks there. We do decluttering, we do journaling, we do lots of different things, and then we don't go into connection, to connecting with you underneath, making sure that you love her, that you understand what you love, all of those things. And then the third one is about taking those 3 things, taking that journey, because it's a building thing. We kind of keep going back and we reflect and understand, and okay, and there's different ahas, and I will go through different things that people come up with. And then we go into confidence to be able to go out there and be who you really are, and go and love what you do and be what you want to be. And that's what we do. And we go through all the different things that I've gone through today, and more, because depending what comes up is depending what I'll deliver. I'm generally quite available in that group as well. I'll do lives in there, and it's full price is $179, and for you only, people who are watching this, and for you until now, until Friday, it is on that click link is only £99. So it's less than £100, and it will get you back in your groove, I promise you, because the women that did it, I mean, I'm just amazed at what the feedback. I mean, some people just understanding that you're your own best expert, that having the confidence to go and do the things that you want to do, and sometimes like going, well, hold on, you need to flip that around a bit, and then they go, oh my God, I can see that now, okay, great. And the great thing is that you're not alone, that there are other women in there going, oh my God, I can't believe I spend my life doing this, I can't believe I wasted this time. And you go, yeah, you did, that's okay, it's all normal, let's get on. And they do. So you get me, and my love of finding out what people really want is what I love. A puzzle, I love to figure it out, I love to kind of get someone go, okay, what is it you want to do? And what I've done in this, my Reboot, is to put all of those things that I use in with my clients and put it into a process. And because people said sort of like, you get 5 weeks and they go, oh my God, if we'd have done this at the beginning, we would have never have got it. And I go, yeah, I know. I know, because I've watched people go through that process. I've been coaching for 15 years now, so it's what I do. I like to kind of go, right, okay, where are they at, where are you at, and okay, you need to know this. And there'll be more emphasis each week. Some people will go, oh my God, this is the one that I'm really kind of struggle with, and we can work on that, and you can, and everyone supports that person, and then they kind of move through it and move on. So that's what it does. It's called the Reboot for obvious reasons. I called it an academy because everyone's calling them their things academies at the moment, and on the event page on my page, there's the weekly breakdown of what you get in that, and I will put that at the bottom of this live for you all. So if you've got any questions, let me know. If you've got any hesitations about the reboot or what we've discovered here, I really would like you to implement something, and then post it, just say, right, okay, look, this is what I've learned today. Even if you've been working with me before, I can see there are some people who have, and I'm sure there's something that I've said and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, because every time when you revisit something, you're a different person, and therefore you can see it differently. So I hope you've gained value from this. 10 ways to get to know who you are, because that's the reason you're here. Remember that. I shall see you all soon. Thanks for being here, everyone. Bye.